The steps beyond the gate. I've always lived near the old cemetery on Pine Hollow Road. A sprawl of crooked headstones and rusted gates, tucked behind a row of sagging houses. Last fall, I started walking Max, my scruffy mutt, along its edge, at dusk. Routine, peaceful, the kind of thing that clears your head. One evening, as the light bled orange through the trees, I heard it. Steps, slow and heavy, crunching the dry leaves inside the fence. I stopped, peered through the bars, nothing but graves, mossy and still. Max growled low, hackles up, staring into the dark. "Just the wind," I muttered, pulling him along, but the steps kept pace. Crunch, crunch. Faint, steady, on the other side. Next night I went back, same path, same time, telling myself it was nothing. Max was edgy, sniffing the air, and there they were again. Crunch, crunch. Closer now, like they'd crossed a row of plots. I turned, scanned the stones. Empty. But the sound trailed us, deliberate, unhurried. "Who's there?" I called, voice thin against the quiet. No answer, just Max whining, tugging me toward home. I locked the door, shook it off. Old places creak, right? But sleep didn't come easy. By the third night, I was jumpy, kept Max tight on the leash, stuck to the sidewalk outside the gate. The steps came faster, crunch, 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 matching. My stride loud over the evening chill. I swung my flashlight across the cemetery. No one, just shadows pooling between the tombs. Max barked, sharp and frantic, lunging at the fence, and I ran, dragging him home, heart pounding. From my kitchen window I watched the gate. Still, then a shape moved. Tall, too tall, gliding between the headstones, no feet touching the ground. The crunching stopped at the fence line, dead silence after. I quit the walks, kept Max in the yard, avoided the cemetery after dark. A week later, I found it. A wreath from my porch, old and faded, propped against the gate like an offering, leaves crushed where it had been dragged. I told my sister, she laughed, said I was spooked, but came over anyway. We sat up, watching from the porch. Around dusk it started, crunch, crunch, faint, weaving through the graves. She heard it too, went stiff, peeked out. Nothing, just that shape again, sliding past a cracked angel statue, stretching wrong. Months on, I don't go near the gate. Max sleeps by my bed, ears twitching, and some nights, I hear it. Crunch, crunch. Outside my fence, slow and patient. Last week, I found tracks in the dirt by my yard. Deep, bare, twisted like no shoe could make, leading back to the cemetery. Whatever's out there, it's still walking, whispering through the graves. Story 2. The Keeper of the Tombs. I've worked the night shift at St. Agnes Cemetery off Harrow Lane for 3 years, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., checking gates, shooing kids, keeping the place quiet. It's a big plot. Rows of weathered stones, some cracked, some sinking, all under a few flickering lamps. My truck stays parked by the maintenance shed and I walk the rounds alone. It was routine till 2 months ago when I first saw it. The keeper standing at the far end near the old mausoleum under a light that's been dead forever. He was just a shape at first. Tall, still, caught as I swept my flashlight across the graves. I called out, "Park's closed." Thought it was a mourner lost late. No answer, no shift, just a dark figure blending into the stone. I walked back to the shed, locked up, drove home, checked my side mirror, gone, like he'd melted away. Next night, same thing, same spot, same shape, closer now, maybe 50 yards from the shed instead of 100. "You need to leave," I shouted, voice echoing off the tombs. Silence, just the wind rattling the trees. My stomach knotted, but I brushed it off. Long nights, tired eyes. A week later, it got heavier. I started my rounds nearer the gate, kept my pace quick, but he was there, 30 yards off, head tilted, standing by a broken cross. No face I could catch, just shadow, deep, eating the faint glow of my light. I hustled to the truck, locked it, glanced back, 20 yards now, rooted still. My hands fumbled the keys, engine coughed. He didn't move, didn't follow, just watched. I sped out, pulse racing, telling myself it was some punk messing around. I upgraded my gear, big flashlight, bright enough to blind, and kept it on, me. One night I aimed it straight at him 15 yards away by a sunken grave. The beam hit. Nothing, no reflection, no outline, just darkness swallowing it. The tilted head fixed on me. "Get out of here," I yelled, words bouncing through. The empty rose and he stayed planted till I drove off. Next shift I snapped a photo from the truck. Shaky, dim, but there. Tall, thin, no features. A void where a face should be. Showed it to my coworker, Luis, at the gatehouse. He frowned, said, "That's not right," but didn't joke. Last week I hit my limit, parked by the exit, finished early, flashlight ready. He was there, 10 feet from the truck, right at the shed door as I locked it. I froze. No eyes, no mouth, just that shape, close enough to feel, head cocked like he'd been waiting. I swung the flashlight hard, desperate. It passed through, hit a tombstone, clattered down. He didn't budge. I jumped in, peeled out. Mirror showed him standing, same spot, watching me fade. I quit yesterday. Told the boss I was done, couldn't handle it. Slept all day, thought it was over. But this morning, unlocking my front door, I saw it. Across the street, by the churchyard wall, same shape, same tilt, still as death. Locked. Myself in, stayed put. An hour ago I heard it tap, tap on my window frame, slow and sure. He's out there now, I feel it. And he's not just the cemeteries anymore. Story 3. The Voice from the Vault. It started 4 months ago. A voice, faint and scratchy, whispering my name through the static of my old radio. I live alone in a cramped house near the edge of Greyfield Cemetery, a crumbling sprawl of vaults and mossy stones off Oak Ridge Drive. I'd been tuning the radio late, around midnight, hunting static for old stations. Then it came. Daniel, low and rough, cutting through the hiss. I froze. Nobody calls me that anymore, just Dan. And flipped it off, figuring a signal bleed. Next night, same time, it was back. Daniel. Clearer, like someone leaning into a mic. I yanked the plug, heart ticking fast. A week in, it didn't need the radio. Midnight sharp, I'd hear it. Daniel, drifting from the walls. The floor, a gravelly whisper I couldn't pin down. I shouted, "Who's there?" Nothing. Just silence swallowing my voice. Then that whisper again. Closer. Heavier. I checked the windows. Greyfield's gates glinted under the streetlights. Still and empty, but the sound kept coming every night. One time I caught a word behind my name, here, muffled like spoken through dirt, and I bolted the doors, slept with the lights on. I tore the house apart, old wiring, pipes, anything that could hum. Nothing explained it. Changed the locks, even tossed the radio. Peace for 3 nights. Then midnight. Daniel right at my ear, breathy and wet, no source, just there. I started walking Greyfield's edge during the day, looking for answers. Found a vault, half-caved, name chipped off, door ajar. The air stank, damp and sour, and I swore I heard it, faint, Daniel, echoing inside. I ran home, pulse hammering, and that night it was louder. Daniel here, with a scrape like nails on stone. I moved last month. New house, miles from Oak Ridge. No radio, no whispers. First week quiet, slept deep, thought I'd escaped. Then midnight. Daniel, soft but growing, seeping from the corners. I checked outside. Nothing, just a new street. But my neighbor knocked next morning, annoyed. Said he'd heard pacing all night, circling my place. I stayed silent, hadn't heard a step. Last night it hit again. Daniel, here. Not just a whisper, a rasp, right outside my window. I peeked, empty, but the glass fogged, slow breaths blooming on it. This morning, I found it. My doormat, flipped over, scratched deep with one word. Here. I drove back to Greyfield today, stood by that vault. Doors shut now, sealed tight. But the air buzzed, and I heard it. Daniel, from inside, patient, waiting. It's not tied to the house, it's tied to me, and it's digging closer every night.